What's up and welcome to another YouTube video. My name is Eddie and I am still addicted to Marvel Snap, and today I want to do something a little bit different. Normally on the channel we like to talk about our favorite variants, our least favorite variants on the channel. Sometimes I do some deck videos where we compare the decks that I've used to get to infinite and stuff like that. But today I want to do something a little bit different where I want to just talk about my favorite cards in Marvel Snap. So right over here we've got the game. Obviously you guys can see here I'm so close to infinite. We're getting there, everybody. Hopefully we'll be able to hit it before the season starts. But what I want to do is just talk about my favorite cards in the game. These are not necessarily the best cards. I just wanted to limit myself to what are the cards that I find the most fun to play in the game. And I tried to do it in a way where I went 2 of every cost. So 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s, and 2 6s. And then so let's just jump right into it so we can talk about it. First thing over here are my 2 favorite ones. Now, this is I'm already kind of ruining my own plan here. I put Kitty Pryde in there, but obviously right now, if you're watching this at the time of the recording or at the time of the upload, she's not playable. She's obviously bugged and we cannot actually use her. But in the short time that I had with her, she instantly grew as to one of my favorite cards in the 1 cost to play. Just the satisfaction of being able to pull her back and forth on the board and seeing the animation and the buff that she kept getting was really insane. This could obviously very much change once we get the official new version of her in the game. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna still like it. I see what it is and I like the idea, and compared to all the other 1 cost cards, she would be, in my opinion, the most satisfying. There's a lot of other ones in there that are obviously much better, but that's not what we're here about. We're just here to talk about which ones I find the most satisfying and most enjoyable to play. My second is Baku. Now, Baku has won me so many games by jumping out onto the board, and I think that that's probably why I find him the most fun, because as much our opponents forget Baku, I forget I have him. So every time he jumps out, it's always a big surprise, and I really like seeing it. I find that I've won way more games than I've lost whenever I've had Baku in my deck, and I find him always so hilarious to see him just jump out. And even when he doesn't jump out, the little no room for Baku animation is excellent. I just really like this card. I have so much fun playing it. In my 2 costs, the first one up is Jeff. Now, obviously, Jeff is very new to the game as well. He's been out for about 2 weeks, but in the short time I've had him, instantly became one of my favorite cards to play. His animation of him jumping, splashing in and out of the water, being able to move him has been excellent. I have a really fun deck that I like to play him with. Just overall, I find him so adorable. I love his variants that I've seen so far. I love the animation for the card, and I find him really good for a 2 cost card. The next of my 2 costs that I really like to play is Mysterio. Now, again, take away the whole Mysterio with Bishop combo or anything like that. Mysterio is just so fun just for the mind games, right? Like, you play Mysterio and your opponent's always thinking, which one's the real one, which one's the fake one? And I love that chaos aspect to the game, or the mystery aspect and the mind game aspect of it. You'll see with a lot of the other cards that are coming up too that I just love that, right? Like, your opponent always has to try and take a guess which one's the real one. And I remember when I first started in Pool 3, he was one of the first ones I got of Series 3, and instantly I put him in almost every single deck when he was a 2-5, and I adored him. They dropped him down to a 2-4, and quite honestly, he's still just as fantastic in my opinion. I have no issues with the way Mysterio is, and I just have so much fun playing him as a 2 cost card over here. In the 3 costs, the first one up is Morph. Morph is probably the card that made me fall in love with this game when I was playing Series 1 and Series 2. I don't see him as much now. I don't play him as much now, but he will always hold a special place in my heart for that early time when I played the game. Series 1, I'm pretty sure we got him Series 2, but early on in that game, I was putting him in every single deck, and the amount of chaos he caused was so fun. Every single time he morphed in something bad, it was funny. When he morphed into something good, it was incredible. I adore this character. I think that this is probably my first love of the game of Marvel Snap. When as soon we started playing the game and we got Morph, me and my Twitch chat, we were all like putting Morph in every single deck and having a blast with him. My next 3 costs that I really love is Kingpin. Once again, the animation of him destroying the cards on turn 6 is so satisfying. He's so cool. He's honestly a really good 3 cost card with 3-4. It's a bit on the lower end, but the power that he has with that turn 6 causes 2 different things. Forces your opponent to play into a specific lane on turn 6 that may or may not want to, because they don't want their cards to be destroyed by Kingpin, or they get destroyed by Kingpin if they play somewhere else and you're able to move them in. That is so satisfying. I love the fact that Kingpin gives you a lot of options as to how you can pull this off by either forcing your opponent to play in a certain lane or destroying them with the other way. I think Kingpin is a lot of fun as a 3 cost. In the 4 cost, Shangshi is my first one over here. I mean, what is there to say about him except for the fact that most people at the start never see him coming, and you can shatter so many combos with just a good Shangshi. He's incredible. I love his power. I don't find him too overpowered. 4-3 is perfect. His animation with the destruction is really good. I think he's one of the best 4 cost cards in the game, and he's one of my favorites to play overall. Next up is Miles Morales. This is going to be really silly. I love the little flip he does onto the board. That's really quite it. I love that when you move a card, he costs cheaper. 1-5 is a really good cost. As a 4-5, he's not bad. I also got to admit, I have a little bit of a love for him because of all the variants. I only have 2 of them so far. I've got this one and this one, but I know all the other variants in the game are incredible. I think Miles has the best pool of variants in the game, and that adds to it. And that little flip he does is clean, excellent. I love it. Now we get into the 5 cost. Before we jump and talk about the 5 cost, 5 cost cards are probably the ones that have my most favorite ones. There are so many of them. It was really hard to narrow it down to 2. So a couple of quick ones that didn't make the list, but I wanted to still shout out were Kang the Conqueror, Iron Man, and of course Arrow. Those are the 3 that for me instantly I was like, I adore them. Man, Hobgoblin's there too. There are so many, but the 2 that you're gonna see here I picked because currently they're 2 of my favorites to play, or they just have a special place in my heart from previously as well. But there's a lot of 5 cost cards that I really like. And before I forget as well, if you've gotten to this point of the video, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below what are your favorite cards of every set, or just favorite cards overall. I'd love to hear about it as we keep going. Next up is Valkyrie. Valkyrie is a 5-3. She's now finally a Series 3, so I think more people are going to start falling in love with her. I got her as a Series 5 in a random poll almost instantly when they did the new shop. So she was one of my first one. I can't wait for the first edition badge on this one. And almost when I first got her, I was like, cool. I don't really see how I'm going to use her. Then I started messing around, putting her in a couple decks here and there. And then I realized how actually powerful she is in the game. Her animation is awesome. The satisfaction of destroying combos with Valkyrie. It's not happening as much now because right now, if you're watching the video, currently the meta is a lot of ongoing related stuff, Patriot, Super Scroll, and other ongoing, so Valkyrie's kind of weakened a bit. But previously, her on Red Skull with Shuri and all that, the Taskmasters, so many other combos, she was incredible. She helped me get Infinite multiple times. I think we've hit Infinite 3 times with her in one of my decks, so I adore this card. I think she's one of the most powerful 5 cost cards that keeps it safe, and depending on the deck you're playing, can just be so good, and an easy counter to most opponents, unless the meta obviously is ongoing at the moment. My next one is Dr. Octopus. Now, Doc Ock may be one of the riskiest cards to play in Marvel Snap, because if you pull the wrong cards out, you could really get screwed. But when you pull the right cards out, oh, is it so good to see an opponent's combo just get absolutely shattered by a Doc Ock. Rickety Bridge, oh my god, that is the best location for him. There are so many fun things you can do using Doc Ock in the game, and I don't think that people talk enough about how great and fun he is. Very risky. Most of the time you'll pull cards that you don't want to pull, and it ends up just being hilarious. You pull a Doc Ock into a Doc Ock, and oh man, that is what a wild adventure that can be. Just a fun card overall. Again, not the best card, not even close. I think there's a lot of other 5 cost cards that are way better than him. But the satisfaction and the animation of the little claws grabbing cards and pulling them in, oh, everything about him is just so fun. So fun in my opinion. And now we're down to our last 2, which are the 6 cost cards. First one up is Heimdall, actually. Now, I don't like move decks at all. I don't find them fun. I find them way too confusing. I find them too complex. There's a lot of thinking and planning out properly how to set it up and everything. I think they're strong. I'm just not really good with them. So you might be wondering, why do I like Heimdall? The reason why is I like to call it the Heimdall surprise. You put Heimdall in a deck that normally doesn't run Heimdall, and wow, people don't ever expect it, and it works out so well. You build such a powerful lane somewhere else, and then you Heimdall, and because most people don't see it coming, they can't counter it. It just shifts everything out to a side, and now you've got all these cards that you thought were in one lane in a different lane, and they're just so strong and no one ever sees it coming. You've got those bad locations, like, you know, there's a couple of them and I can think of, like Sanctum, that you can't move, can't play cards in there. The one with the 6 cost only cards, I don't remember the name of it. Plunder, that's a Plunder Castle. There's so many of these locations that Heimdall just works, and it doesn't have to be a move deck. He's a 6/8 that's really strong, and shifting everything when your opponent doesn't expect it is so satisfying. On top of that, he has a really cool animation with the shift itself. Overall, really fun card to play in my opinion, and one of the best 6 cost cards in the game. The last card we're going to talk about today is Thanos, everybody. Now, Thanos obviously just keeps going up and down in the meta, being one of the best cards, the weakest cards, the best cards, the weakest card. I just adore him overall. I think every single animation for Thanos is incredible. I think the stones are also satisfying to play. They're also fun to play. Even when Thanos is considered non-meta, I find him super enjoyable and a lot of fun to play. I think he is probably my #1 favorite card in the game, and he's my favorite type of deck to build as well, just to play a Thanos deck. Overall is very satisfying. I think everything about him is so good. I love these 6 stones. I love the buff that he gets with the 6 stones. I love the animations that every stone does when they give you a new card or they switch the reality stone ship. Everything about him is 10 out of 10. I really hope that they continue adding cards with as many epic animations as Thanos to the game. And that, everybody, is my list of my 12 favorite cards in the game. Maybe I'll do another video in the future with my least favorite cards if that's something that interests you. If you are interested, make sure to comment below that you want to see me rate my least favorite cards. Make sure to comment what are your favorite cards. What characters do you want me to look at their variants in the future, because that's our regular content here, and what other Marvel Snap content do you want to see from me? Please make sure to comment everything down below, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe as always, and come see us on Twitch. We're climbing on Twitch over here. Come see us try and hit that infinite rank all together. We're gonna party once it happens. All right, everybody, take care, have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.